Go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We're sending love from Madison. Also best wishes because you are completing the edTPA. And we're going to help you move along the path to task 2. All right, so for task 2, we have some things to consider and keep in mind. The first piece is the evidence comes from your video clips. So similar to task 1, where you're drawing upon your lesson plans, your instructional materials, and your assessments, for task 2, you're drawing from your video clips to provide responses to the prompts, right? So if you don't already, please bring up your task 2 instructional commentary template from the shared Google Drive folder. That's where you're going to be recording your answers for the prompts for this particular task. You'll also want to be sure that you've taken a look at the videos that you recorded for your edTPA sequence of lessons, and that from those you've chosen some clips. And we'll talk about those clips in just a moment. So as you get to writing and responding to these prompts, you'll want to be sure that you've already both chosen the clips and cut them so that the start is at 0 minutes and 0 seconds for each. Because as you're responding to these prompts, you're going to be pulling evidence from these and you're going to be labeling them. For example, as I said to a student in clip 1 from 2:10 to 2:36. So you'll want to say the video clip that you're drawing the evidence from, as well as the start and finish time for the evidence that you're referring to. It's likely that you'll probably want to give almost a transcript of the verbal exchange that took place between you and the student. And if there's anything nonverbal that happens, you'll want to describe that as well. And you're giving that description so that then afterward, you will be able to make connections between what happened in the video as evidence and whichever question you're answering. So for example, if you're looking at prompt 2 in any of the handbooks we're working with today, you'll be looking at respect and rapport as part of that prompt. So if you're drawing from clip 1, you may say, an example of when I was respectful to a student is when they walked into the classroom and I referred to them by name. You can see evidence of this in clip 1 from 2:10 to 2:36. You'll want to notice both your actions and student actions. So in the example that I just gave in terms of respect, you might say this is what I did, and then either verbally or non-verbally, you would share through how the student reacted or how they acted, and that would provide additional context. This task is shorter than task 1. Can I get a hooray? Hooray.
Hooray.
Hooray. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yay.
So this task is shorter than task 1. So task 1, you had to generate 3 to 5 lesson plans, instructional materials, assessments. You had to really think through and try to understand what this whole edTPA thing was about. You had a limit of 10 pages in your commentary. This task is shorter. You're working with your video clips as the one source of evidence, and the actual prompts, the page limit is much shorter as well. So this should be a more direct and straightforward task than the planning commentary and the associated task 1. It's okay for you to use the same evidence multiple times to respond to different prompts. What will change is your explanation. And so if you have this particular video clip and you're saying that it's an example of respect, depending on what the exchange is like between you and the student and what happens within that clip, you may also be able to use it to respond to another prompt later in task 2. It's fine to use the same evidence multiple times. You'll just want to be sure that when providing context or describing what happens in the clip, you're really answering what's happening, what's being requested in the prompt, and what the rubric is looking for. And we'll get into those prompts and rubrics momentarily, but just know that you can use that same clip, that same evidence multiple times. You'll just need to be sure that with the rest of your answer, you're providing the necessary connection to the prompt that addresses what's being called for in the rubric. In terms of video clips, for early childhood, you're required to have 2 video clips, a total of 3 to 15 minutes of running time with the video clips. You'll find more information on page 20 to 22 of your handbook. For all of the time totals here for the videos, this is the length of the videos combined. There's no minimum length for each individual video, but the videos together must be at least 3 minutes long and no longer than 15 minutes total with the running time for both videos combined. Elementary literacy, 2 video clips, 3 to 20 minutes total running time. For more information for those clips, check page 18 to 20 in your handbook. And finally, for elementary math, 1 to 2 clips, 3 to 15 minutes total. And once again here, please check page 19 to 20 in your handbook. Buckle up your seatbelts. We're about to take a fantastic voyage to prompt 1 and 2 and rubric 6. Onward.